We're going to show you how to change a cable on an LAE, and we're going to do both cables on this chair. If we have a new plate that we're making, so if you're doing one, you might as well do both. So first step is to cut this little tab off. I've already done it, so I had to show you separately, but cut this tab off the wire so we can pull the wire out of the sheathing. And then the next step is to loosen this and remove this. So now we have it loose and we removed it, and it goes like that. Put it in your tray. Now we got that wire cut, we can just pull it out of the housing and just pull back on it and it will come right out. Now you can slide this right off. See how I slid that right off? I'm going to set that aside. Now I'm going to remove this access panel to get to the armrest bolt. So now I got this removed, I can take this armrest bolt right off. So now we got the bolt off the armrest, and I laid the armrest on the seat. So now we're going to start with the arm. So this is the outside of the arm, and if you want to, you can mark it with an O, so you know. O. So I marked it with a little O. And then if you flip it over, this is the latch side. This is the side that we got to take the panel off of. So we're going to take the cover off this, and you know it's the latch side with that, and you can mark it with an L. So I marked with an L. So now I got the cover off. We could take the two Allen bolts, you'll see them on there. It's kind of hard with the reflection. Take these and loosen them up to slide this latch piece off. So now we're going to slide it off the wire. You might have to pull a little hard to get it off. Slide it off the wire, set it aside. Now we're going to take the spring out of here. If there is no spring in there, there's the problem. We're going to pull the spring out of here. So this is the spring that was supposed to be there. This arm was missing it. So we're going to pull the spring out. So if you're missing the spring, you're going to need it to do the job. You need the spring. So put the spring aside. Then there's a metal plate and a washer in there. Just pull it off the wire and throw it away. So you can get rid of these two pieces. You don't need them anymore. We're sending you a new piece that is taking the place of both. And you're just going to keep this and discard the other ones, throw them away. So now you want to pull the handles off. So when you unbolt the handle, there's two little like spacer washers in both handles. When you take them off, just be careful not to lose them. If you already put this piece in the past, you don't need to change the standing cable. So you can get rid of the first part of the video and start at 224. So I got the bolts out of both handles, and now I'm going to remove the cables, and I'm going to pull them out. So the cable runs this way to the back and all the way down to where you are here. So you know the way they route is this way. So I already pulled the first handle out to save time, and I'll show you how it pulls out. Just pull it out just like this. You'll see me pulling it. And I got it out. And keep track of how they go through the handle. Mark that so you know, because people get confused. They think the little groove is where the ball goes, but the ball actually goes on the flat side. So in your kit, you're going to get new tubing, and you can actually use this tubing to push the old tubing out. We want to take the old tubing out of the arm. There's tubing in there. So the way to do that is fold the tube over itself and use two ends and put it in the back hole where the big latch was, just like so. And then push. So I'm going to just push, and then you're going to see the sheathing pop out the other side. So you see the sheathing popped out because I pushed it. So now you can just pull the sheathing out, pull your tubing back out. So the tubing we sent you is not cut to length, so what you can do is line it up next to the tubing that you pulled out and just cut it. Now you can slide the tubing into where the back big handle was, the back latch. Slide it in. Don't go all the way in. Just go enough and leave some out. I recommend getting two new cables. If not, you can reuse the lifting cable, but I inspected this one. I found a burr on it, so I'm just going to change it. So now that I got it in the handle, just like this, like I showed you before, I'm going to run it through the tubing. So I got the big handle wire running through. Now when you come through this end, we mark that with O. You want the lifting cable to be on the outside. So I got it on the outside. So now I'm just gonna rest it there and leave that there. Now we're gonna run our other cable for the other handle. And that has to be a new cable because we make the cable to length, and once you cut that latch you won't be able to reuse that cable. So I'm running a new cable for that too. And same thing on that cable. The ball goes right there on the flat side. So now we're running the cable through to the back. The reason why we left this out is so we don't catch this part of the armrest. So this gives us a good run so we don't catch anything. So just run the cable. And you'll see you want it underneath the other side and you want it to go into the latch side. So I got lucky, I got it under. So what I can do is actually show you. See, I pulled it out from underneath. So you got one on top and one on the bottom. So now we can pull the levers in place and bolt them in. So we'll put the levers in place and bolt them in and pull the cables tight and get the levers right where they need to be. I'm going to show you a good trick. A good trick to get those washers in is to use an Allen wrench. So I already got the other side in. I put an Allen wrench through. So what I'll do is I'll back the Allen wrench out, slide it in, push the Allen wrench in, line it up, and then put the bolt through. The shorter bolt goes on the little latch, and remember to put a little Loctite on that bolt. So I got Loctite on both. Just put them snug. Don't over tighten the handles because the handles are made to latch back. So now we're gonna do our spring back. So we're gonna do the latch now. So I got both handles on with the spacers in, and I put Loctite on both bolts. So you're gonna flip the arm over to the L side where the latch goes. That's where the latch is, where we took out. You want to slide our new plastic piece on the wire down. Then once you got the wire through it down, you can flip it over to get the other wire through. So I'll just flip it over, and then you'll see you can just feed the wire through. So make sure you have the right wire, and just feed it through the back side here, like so, and then just pull it, and you're good. And now you can line up the latch. So now I got my plate in place. Now I can put the spring on that wire for the latch. So now I got my spring on, now I can put the latch on. So for the latch, remember that the grooved side goes out to the outside of the wire, and the channeled side is for the spring. So now I got everything in place the way it goes. Now I want to pull this wire and push the latch back a little bit, and make sure your latch is all the way down, out the down position, not against the arm, down, so you know it's tight. And then you can tighten down these little Allens. Give it a little push back and tighten them down. Now you can test the trigger. You know it's good when it hits the back plate perfectly. You're good. Now you can tighten down the other Allen. Just tighten them down hand tight. Don't put Loctite on them because it will bind up the wire. So you just want to snug these up pretty tight, not too tight because you break the wire. Now you want to cut the wire. So what you do is you lift it up a little bit, pull the wire this way, put your cutters on and cut it. Just like so, and give it a good push. Cut, and then it will drop back in place. Now we can put the cover on. Put some Loctite on these screws because the arm's always moving, they will come loose. So now I got the cover back on, I checked the handle, it all works smoothly. Now I can put the arm back on. Before putting the arm on, be sure to put Loctite on the armrest bolt because these move all the time and this will come loose without Loctite. You could use any color, blue, green. So start your armrest bolt by hand, that way you don't cross thread it, and then finish it off with the Allen. So now I checked the arm to be sure that it's not too tight, but enough where it doesn't wobble. It's gonna get a lot of use, so it needs to be pretty snug, but enough where it works properly, where it goes up and down easily and the latch locks and unlocks. So now we can put the sheathing back on the tube just like we pulled it off before. So we'll put the sheathing back on. So I got the sheathing on, now I can push my cable through the little adjustment screw. And a note for this is when we get to the point we want to bring that adjustment screw all the way in, and actually we can do that now. So it's a 10mm, just loosen it up and then bring this in. You don't have to bring it in all the way, just bring it in enough where it gives you adjustment. This is so we have adjustment to adjust the cable just in case we need it. So I got it in quite a ways. I don't think I need to go any further than that. Now I'm going to run the cable through. So I'm going to run the cable through the hole, like so, and you're going to need 2 hands and then pull it. So I needed 2 hands to do it, but you can see how it's an end product. So I got it pulled through, and I got this in place. So now we can put this cover on to hold this in place, put Loctite on all those screws. So now I got the cover back on. Now I got a lot of wire because I did a new wire, which everybody might want to do. It's just a new wire. And now I'm just gonna pull this to be sure that I got all the tension out, and the arm trigger goes down. You wanna make sure it's all the way down, and just pull it and take all the tension off the cable. And you might have to pull somewhat hard, but not too hard. So I think I got it pretty good. Now I'm gonna put the little locking latch clip on there, which that's what I call it, but it could be called something else officially. So I leave it loose enough where it will just slide down the wire, and we can snug it up a little bit and push it hard so it locks. So I'm going to snug up that little bolt a little bit and then snug it up against the latch. So you see, I didn't tighten it. All I did was snug it up a little bit, and it kind of holds itself. So you could pull the end of the cable and push it in against the latch, and you can actually make sure the latch is all the way back. Now we can put our Allen on here and turn it. Important, hold the Allen in place and turn the socket separately so you're not twisting the wire. So I'll wait to cut the excess until I'm done adjusting the cable. So now we brought this in all the way, this adjustment. This is how you adjust tension on the cable. You go out, it will adjust tension on the cable. So we could turn it out, and we'll feel the handle. See, it doesn't move. So we know we have to come out with it. So I'm gonna bring it out and then restart the video. So I continue testing it, and I got it in the right place. When you pull the trigger, you'll see the latch release, and you'll see that's a good place. And now we're just gonna tighten down the locking collar, which is a 10mm, and then you're good to go. And if you have to adjust this in or out to adjust tension or to get the cable fine-tuned, you can do that. And now you can cut the wire. I leave a little bit there so it doesn't, so I have adjustment if I have to pull it or anything. So now you can cut the wire and you're done. This is the cable, both cables on a LAE.